I was 8 months pregnant when my mother hit me with a camera tripod at my brother's engagement party. The night had started normally. My brother Ryan was getting engaged, and the whole family was gathered at a big banquet hall. I was standing near the dessert table, trying to stay out of everyone's way, when my mother, Linda, walked up to me with a fake smile. She had been drinking. "You're really gonna show up looking like that?" she said, eyeing my belly with disgust. "You're making the whole family look bad. This is Ryan's light, not yours." I took a deep breath and replied calmly, "Mom, I'm just here to support my brother. I'm not causing any scene." She laughed bitterly. "You always cause a scene just by existing, Sophia. You should have stayed home. No one wants a pregnant woman waddling around here like she owns the place." I tried to walk away, but she grabbed my arm. "And another thing," she said, loudly enough for people nearby to hear, "if you think you're going to use this baby to get money or attention from this family, you're wrong. We all know you trapped Ethan with this pregnancy." That was the last straw. I pulled my arm away and said, "Don't touch me." Something snapped in her. She grabbed the metal tripod that was leaning against the wall near the photographer's setup and swung it at me. The heavy leg hit me hard on the side of my head and shoulder. I stumbled backward and my pregnant belly slammed into the sharp corner of a table. A sharp pain shot through my stomach. For a second, everything went blurry. Then I felt it, warm liquid running down my legs. My water had broken. I looked down in shock as blood also started mixing with the fluid. People around us gasped. My mother stood there holding the tripod, breathing heavily. For a moment, she looked like she couldn't believe what she had just done. But instead of helping me, she muttered, "Stop being so dramatic. It's just a little push." I was in too much pain to argue. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and called my husband Ethan. "Ethan," I said, my voice breaking. "She hit me. My water broke. There's blood." Ethan's voice turned cold and urgent. "I'm coming. Don't move. I'm calling an ambulance too." I sat on a chair, holding my belly while some guests rushed to help me. My brother Ryan looked shocked but didn't say anything. My mother just stood there, still holding the tripod like she was in a trance. 20 minutes later, Ethan arrived. But he didn't come alone. And the moment he walked in with what he brought, everyone at the party froze. Ethan walked into the banquet hall with 2 police officers behind him. The entire party went completely silent. The music had already been turned off earlier, but now even the whispers stopped. Everyone was staring at Ethan and the 2 officers in uniform. My mother, Linda, who was still standing near me holding the tripod, froze the moment she saw the police. The color drained from her face. Ethan didn't even look at anyone else. He walked straight toward me, his face dark with anger. When he saw the blood on my dress and the way I was holding my stomach, his jaw clenched so tightly I thought his teeth might break. He knelt in front of me and gently held my face. "Sophia, are you okay?" he asked, his voice low but shaking with rage. I shook my head weakly. "The baby, there's blood." One of the police officers immediately stepped forward. "Ma'am, we're calling an ambulance right now." Then he turned to my mother. "Ma'am, we received a call about an assault. Did you hit this woman with that tripod?" My mother's hands started shaking. She quickly dropped the tripod on the floor like it had burned her. I didn't hit her hard. She was being dramatic. She always does this for attention." Ethan stood up slowly and looked at my mother with pure disgust. "You hit my 8-month pregnant wife with a metal tripod," he said coldly, "in front of everyone. And now you're calling her dramatic?" My mother tried to defend herself. "She was demanding things that don't belong to her. She was causing a scene at her own brother's engagement." Ethan took one step closer to her. His voice dropped even lower. "You gave my car to your son's fiancée without even asking Sophia. When she demanded it back, which she had every right to, you attacked her. And now you're trying to justify it?" My brother Ryan, who had been standing quietly until now, finally spoke. "Mom, what the hell did you do?" My mother looked at him with wide eyes, like she was hoping he would support her, but Ryan looked shocked and angry. One of the police officers stepped forward and picked up the tripod carefully. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for assault," he said. You have the right to remain silent." My mother's eyes widened in panic. "Wait, you can't arrest me. This is a family matter. She's my daughter." The officer didn't even flinch. "You assaulted a pregnant woman in front of multiple witnesses. This is no longer just a family matter." As the officer started putting handcuffs on my mother, she started screaming. "This is all her fault. She's always been jealous of her brother. She's trying to destroy this family." No one came to her defense. Not even my father, who was standing in the corner looking ashamed. The ambulance arrived within minutes. The paramedics carefully helped me onto the stretcher. Ethan held my hand the entire time. Before they took me away, I looked at my mother one last time. She was standing there in handcuffs, surrounded by people who were now staring at her with disgust and judgment. For the first time, she looked small. As the ambulance doors closed, Ethan sat beside me and held my hand tightly. "I'm sorry I wasn't there earlier," he said quietly. I shook my head. "You came when it mattered," I whispered. Another contraction hit me, and I winced in pain. Ethan immediately called the paramedic. As the ambulance sped toward the hospital, I closed my eyes and placed my hands on my belly. My mother had finally gone too far, and this time she wasn't going to get away with it. The hospital was chaotic when we arrived. The paramedics rushed me into the emergency room while Ethan stayed right beside me, holding my hand. The pain was getting worse with every contraction. I could feel the panic rising in my chest, not just because of the physical pain, but because of everything that had just happened at the party. A doctor quickly examined me and confirmed what I already feared. "You're in active labor. The baby is in distress because of the impact. We need to deliver immediately." Everything moved very fast after that. I was taken into the operating room for an emergency C-section. Ethan was allowed to stay with me, holding my hand the entire time. At 11:52 p.m., our daughter was born. She was small, only 4.8 pounds, but she was breathing on her own. When the nurse placed her on my chest for a few seconds, I started crying. Not just from pain, but from a strange mix of relief and fear. Ethan kissed my forehead and whispered, "She's perfect." After they took the baby to the NICU for monitoring, I was moved to a recovery room. Ethan sat beside my bed, looking exhausted but relieved. For a while, neither of us spoke. Then Ethan finally broke the silence. "Your mother was arrested," he said quietly. "They took her to the police station. Ryan tried to stop them, but the officers didn't listen. Too many people saw what she did." I stared at the ceiling. "Good," I said softly. Ethan looked at me. "Sophia, are you okay?" I turned my head to look at him. "No," I replied honestly, "I'm not okay. My own mother hit me while I was 8 months pregnant. She caused me to go into early labor. And instead of helping me, she stood there and called me dramatic. How am I supposed to be okay after that?" Ethan held my hand tighter. "I'm so sorry," he said. "I should have been there with you. I should have protected you." I shook my head. "This isn't your fault. But Ethan, I'm done. I'm done trying to have a relationship with her. I'm done making excuses for her behavior. She crossed the final line tonight." Ethan nodded slowly. "I support whatever decision you make," he said, "even if that means cutting her off completely." We sat in silence for a while. Then Ethan spoke again. "Ryan wants to see you," he said. "He's been calling me nonstop. He says he wants to talk." I was quiet for a few seconds. "Let him come," I finally said. "But only him. I don't want to see my mother." An hour later, Ryan arrived at the hospital. He looked terrible. His eyes were red and he seemed genuinely shaken. He stood near the door of my room like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to come inside. "Sophia," he said quietly, "can I come in?" I nodded. Ryan walked in and stood awkwardly beside my bed. He looked at the empty crib and then back at me. "I'm sorry," he said. "I should have stopped her.
I saw her getting aggressive, but I didn't think she would actually hit you, especially not while you're pregnant. I looked at my brother. You've been watching her treat me badly for years, Ryan. You never said anything. You never stood up for me. Why now? Ryan looked down at the floor. Because this time, she could have killed you and the baby. When I saw you on the floor with blood on your dress, something broke in me. Mom has always been controlling and cruel, but tonight she crossed a line even I can't ignore. He paused, then continued. I also heard what happened with Richard's will. Mom has been lying to all of us. She told me you manipulated him and that you were trying to steal everything. But after tonight, I don't know what to believe anymore. I looked at him seriously. Richard left everything to me because he knew exactly what kind of person Mom is. He recorded conversations, he saved messages. She was trying to force him to change his will in her favor while he was dying. I have all the proof. Ryan looked shocked. She did that? I nodded. Ryan ran a hand through his hair, looking disturbed. I don't know what to say, he muttered. I feel like an idiot for believing her all these years. I didn't comfort him. I was too tired and too hurt. Ryan, I don't expect you to take my side, but if you're going to stay in my life, you need to understand one thing. I'm done protecting Mom. I'm done staying silent. And if you choose to stand with her, then I'll have to cut you off too. Ryan looked at me for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. I understand, he said. I need some time to process everything, but I'm not going to blindly support her anymore. Not after what she did tonight. After he left, Ethan came back inside and sat beside me. How are you feeling? He asked. I looked at him and gave a tired smile. Like I finally stopped being everyone's punching bag. Ethan kissed my hand. Good, he said, because from now on, no one gets to hurt you or our daughter without facing consequences. I closed my eyes, feeling both exhausted and strangely at peace. My mother had spent years controlling, humiliating, and hurting me. But tonight, something changed. For the first time, she was the one facing consequences. And this was only the beginning. 3 months had passed since that night. My daughter, Lily, was now healthy and growing well. Ethan and I had moved into a new apartment, trying to build a peaceful life away from the chaos. But peace doesn't come easily when your own mother has tried to hurt you and your child. My mother, Linda, had been released on bail after her arrest. She tried reaching out multiple times, through calls, messages, and even sending people to speak on her behalf. I didn't respond to any of them. One evening, while I was feeding Lily, Ethan walked into the room with a serious expression. Your mother's lawyer called me today, he said. She wants to meet you. She says she wants to apologize and make things right. I didn't even look up. Tell her I'm not interested. Ethan sat down beside me. Sophia, she's your mother, and no matter what she did, she's still family. Maybe you should at least hear her out. I finally looked at him. Ethan, she hit me while I was 8 months pregnant. She caused me to go into early labor. She threatened our baby. And instead of showing any real remorse, she tried to turn the entire family against me. I'm done giving her chances. Ethan was quiet for a moment, then nodded. I understand, he said. I just don't want you to regret anything later. I looked down at Lily, who was sleeping peacefully in my arms. The only thing I would regret, I said softly, is letting her back into our lives and giving her another chance to hurt our daughter. Ethan didn't argue after that. A week later, my brother Ryan came to visit. He looked more calmer than the last time I saw him. We sat in the living room while Ethan took Lily to the other room. Mom has been calling me every day, Ryan said. She's been crying, saying she made a mistake and that she wants to fix things with you. She even said she's willing to drop all the drama about Richard's will. I looked at him. And what do you think, Ryan? He sighed. I think she's only saying all this because she's scared of going to jail and losing everything. I don't think she's actually sorry for what she did to you. She's just sorry she got caught. I nodded. His words didn't surprise me. Ryan continued. I've been thinking a lot these past few months about how Mom has always treated you differently, about how she used me against you. I'm not proud of the way I stayed silent all these years. He looked at me sincerely. I'm not asking you to forgive her, Sophia, but I want you to know that I'm on your side now. Whatever you decide, I'll support you. I felt a small warmth in my chest. It had been a long time since I felt like I had a brother. Thank you, I said quietly. That actually means a lot. Ryan hesitated before speaking again. Mom wants to meet you one last time. She says if you don't want to see her after that, she'll leave you alone. I thought about it for a long moment. Finally, I said, fine, I'll meet her. But only once. And you'll be there too. 2 days later, I met my mother at a quiet cafe. Ryan sat beside me while my mother sat across from us. She looked older and more tired than I remembered. There were dark circles under her eyes and she had lost weight.
For a few minutes, no one spoke. Then she finally broke the silence. Sophia, she said, her voice low, I know I've made terrible mistakes. I was angry and jealous. I felt like Richard gave you more attention than he gave me and your brother. I let that anger control me. I didn't say anything. I just listened. She continued, when I hit you that night, I wasn't in my right mind. I regretted every single day. I know I can never take it back, but I want to try and fix things. I want to be in your life and in my granddaughter's life. I looked at her for a long time. Then I spoke. Mom, you didn't just hit me. You attacked me while I was carrying your grandchild. You caused me to bleed and go into early labor. And instead of showing concern, you stood there and humiliated me in front of everyone. That's not something I can just forget or forgive easily. My mother's eyes filled with tears. I was wrong, she whispered. I know that now. I leaned forward slightly. You didn't just hurt me physically, Mom. You spent years making me feel like I was less important than Ryan. You treated me like I didn't belong in this family. And when Richard left me something in his will, you tried to take it away by lying and manipulating everyone. I took a deep breath. I've decided that I don't want you in my life anymore. Not right now. Maybe not ever. And I definitely don't want you around my daughter. My mother started crying. Sophia, please, she's my granddaughter. She's my daughter, I said firmly. And I will protect her from anyone who tries to hurt her, even if that person is her own grandmother. Ryan stayed quiet, but he didn't defend her this time. My mother looked at me with desperate eyes. So this is it? You're cutting me off completely? I nodded. Yes, this is it. She sat there for a few more seconds, crying silently. Then she stood up, wiped her face, and walked out of the cafe without saying another word. Ryan looked at me after she left. Are you okay? He asked. I nodded slowly. I think I finally am. 6 months later, life had become much quieter. My mother stopped trying to contact me after that meeting.
Ryan and I had started rebuilding our relationship slowly. We talked on the phone sometimes, and he even visited Lily a few times. He was trying, and I respected that. One evening, while Ethan and I were putting Lily to sleep, he asked me something. "Do you ever regret cutting your mother off?" I thought about it for a moment, then answered honestly. "No," I said. "I regret that it had to come to this. But I don't regret protecting myself and our daughter. Some people only change when they lose everything. And even then, they might not change at all." Ethan kissed my forehead. "I'm proud of you," he said. I smiled and looked at our sleeping daughter. For the first time in many years, I felt truly at peace. My mother had tried to break me, with words, with violence, and with manipulation. But in the end, I broke the cycle. And I chose to build a life where my daughter would never have to question whether she was loved or wanted. That, more than anything else, felt like the real victory.